Space, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 2 Excel sheets I made for a position, well, while I was working at a position called deposits. The oversimplified explanation of what deposits was about: I count money and I make sure people are accountable, servers specifically, and I document it. So starting off, I would end up counting the big bank and all the bills that are in the bank, coins included. So if there's a single $100 bill, as you see here, I put 1 and it counts 100 based on which row it's on. So on and so forth, coins included. Go to the stack of 20s. These are paper stacks, so a paper stack of 20s is usually 500, and 4 of those stacks makes 2,000. This is a roll of coins, and this is a box of rolled coins. So 1 rolled coin of quarters is 10, 2 of them makes 20, 1 box of quarters makes 500. Each row is then totaled, and then all that is totaled into the grand total. This other section is mostly for checks or anything that, it's basically checks. And I can leave a comment if it's any more complicated than that. Once the bigger banks are accounted for, we go into the smaller banks, the banks the servers would use. I would note the bank that I'm using. It's a drop down because they don't usually change, and the employee number of who was using the bank, usually by a what they call it, like an employee receipt or something like that. It's a general just description of how their sales went that day. Same thing, same process as the big bank. I count. If I see a single $100 bill, I note it. Here are the coins. If there are rolled coins, I would add that here, and I get the total below. Now of that total, I would have to clean the bank to 300. So now I subtract the 300 from the 496, and that's where I get the target total. That target total is now then pulled. Well, now I pull from that target total. Biggest bills go first, and then we move all the way down to the penny. Yeah, this is just a check of that. These two should obviously equal that because that's how math works. And now, based on what I have here, I clean the bank to a preferred amount. Having a specific amount of 20s, a specific amount of 10s, so on and so forth. The reset here that you see is due to my laziness. If there is anything above 10 cents or 10 of that coin, I just put reset. I either put rolled coins in there, or we have a coin counter, and I just set it to like half of the stack, and I run that twice. And that process is repeated throughout all the banks. I do not remember how many banks there were, but I prepared enough, to say the least. Now, once all of that is taken care of, I'm skipping this one. Basically, it's an XLOOKUP drop down. When I type in the employee number, it gives me the employee name. This is also a drop down because one thing I like to do, like for example, this is what, 4738. I would do like 47. Oh no, I have to do the first 3, so it'll be like 101. And I'll be like, okay, cool, 4738. Makes life a little bit easier. So now I am changing this song because this is a good song. and I don't want to put that in the credits. Well, I do. I have to now, but whatever. All the banks that I worked on is now transferred over here for an overview, and this will be copied over to the next Excel sheet. So now that we're on this other Excel sheet, and why we are on this other Excel sheet is because now I'm transferring from my personal computer to like the company's computer, or yeah, the company's computer. So all that is brought over, then it would be put here, but not quite yet, because there's one more thing I need to do. I need to pull, yeah, that's what they call employee financial report. This would be pretty much the sum of what all happened their shift, what they sold, how much they sold it, and how was it, you know, what kind of tender media they used. And I would be able to see how much cash I should be expecting to get. So I counted the cash side, but now I need to account for the cards. And as you see, there are different types of cards, and all that needs to be accounted for. And that's what the Excel sheet does. It takes all that over there and takes it over here. I even also, so there was another issue that was going on where tips were not being properly counted. So this stuff over here is extra, so I can have a mental note of how much each person should be tipping out. The whole process for the tip was very, what's the right word, fickle? But having a general number of, okay, it should be around here, tends to make things a lot easier when you discuss how much people are or are not tipping out. But yeah, with this being XLOOKUP and with the numbers being important, I also set up a little function to where, let's say it read the wrong number, add it more. Well, it does a cross check between 3 different things. It checks it here because it looks for the total media. Yeah, no, well, it just checks like 3 separate times. Hold on, how does it? I'm trying to make sure I remember, because it adds all this up, it checks it with there, and then it also directly does the same thing on the other side. So it's 3 separate functions trying to get the same number, and if it doesn't, then it's red. But since it works, it's green, because I do not want to go back and look over things. Why would I need to triple check something when I can make a function that triple checks it? Cool. All this is then copied. I think I said it, yeah. I just copy this, and I will put this on, where are you? Here. This would then be populating this other side, because this is just an XLOOKUP of that other sheet. And based on that, it would then XLOOKUP these numbers so that they are parallel on the same sheet. So, you know, the person who had that cash is on that right row. Because if it's on the wrong row, we have issues. So yeah, I do that with all the employees. Just copy, paste, and I would have that taken care of. Since I've already did the banks, this will be another XLOOKUP, and it just realigns everything on this, which would then lead me to, I guess you can call them like the totals. It's the totals of the totals. So all of the Visas, MasterCard, American Express, etc., it would take the ones that were physically scanned or, tapped, like, when you pay for your meal. Then you have your mobile orders of the same process, and then we have our kiosks, and all that needs to be like broken down and accounted for. And again, it's all XLOOKUP. It's XLOOKUP, it breaks it down, it counts the amount, and I just copy paste. I don't have it here because it's TMI, very TMI. It was a lot of information, but that's why it's on their computer and not on mine. So after all that's accounted for, all that's documented, because I'm just copy and pasting, then I could come back and I start cleaning the big bank. And essentially, I just try to get rid of the bigger bills and I drop the extra. So any amount that is over this 5,500 is dropped and sent to, I don't know, corporate, the HQ. And that's their profit, I guess. I don't know. I send it off and I account for it. This is me just counting the banks and the amounts, same way that I did PM or AM. Same process. Obviously, I get rid of the checks and keep the cash. I drop the biggest bills because those are going to be sent off. And it makes sure that I'm at exactly 5,500. I think before, when I was over, I had something that popped up that would say, hey, you're over by this much or something. But I ended up getting rid of it. Or maybe this just isn't that version, because I made multiple versions of this thing, or multiple improvements, I should say. And this is the one I happened to find to talk about. But, coming close to the end of the day, I also need to record what my starting amount is and my ending amount, so they can see that I did that, essentially. And that will be documented and signed off. And that will be my day. Yeah. But, thank you for enduring the entire video. If there's anything you have to say or comment, definitely let me know, and it would be appreciated. Thank you.